We are so lucky. Our community has like just like so many creative, interesting, driven women. I'm sure there's lots of wonderful, creative, interesting, driven men as well. But having lived in different places, it's such a unique thing, I think, here. Like women doing shit. They're doing things.
100%.
Like interesting things.
Yes, or like you find out that like someone who's now a stay-at-home mom was actually like an investment banker for 15 years, and you're like, oh my God, well that makes sense why you're in charge of like organizing everyone's children's calendar.
Right. Yeah.
So there's some people just, and I also think the focus is on moms because we do end up carrying so much of our children's schedules that it takes another level of intricacy to blend everything together.
Well, it speaks to women in general, I think, because when we're faced with the fact that we are default parent or the caregiver or everything, and we still have all of our drive and interest in other things and desire to do other things, instead of letting one thing fall apart, we're like, we will create a whole new thing to make this work.
Yes.
We will leave this part of the workforce and create our own like business or role or something so that we can support everything.
That's right.
Versus, I think that's like a wild
I do think it's I think it's evolutionary.
I think so too. It was like we were all stay-at-home moms, in the 50s, and then it was like women could do everything. And then you're like, okay, well now we have these women CEOs, but we're not getting like the penny has to drop somewhere.
Yes.
Like you literally cannot have it all. You can have everything at a different time. You can never have everything all the time. Mm-hmm. So I have this moment at work all the time where I'm like, okay, crushing at work, fucking up at home.
It's like a smoothie.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a smoothie. And it's like you put different ingredients in it depending on the day.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't always turn out the same.
Right. And some days you're like, oh, that wasn't like quite the right like ratios
mix
of everything. But like I can iterate and like make it a little different tomorrow.
Yeah.
I really want to, I'm really excited to introduce you.
Okay.
It has been a true joy watching your career like unfold over the last like
half decade now. I've been like cheering you on.
I don't know. I'm like.
No, it's so wild.
Likewise. Like
it's
I remember,
so wild.
Okay, so I'm so excited to be here with my girl crush, Katie Monkhouse, who is an interior designer based here in Marin County. She, like many Marinites, is originally from the East Coast. She moved to California almost 15 years ago in 2010. Yeah. So I guess that makes you a local. After spending over a decade working in the fashion industry, she discovered a passion for interior design while renovating her first family home in Mill Valley. Mm-hmm. In 2007, Katie launched her design studio.
2017.
2017.
My typo.
In 2017, Katie launched Katie Monkhouse Design as a self-taught designer working from her dining table. Today, she leads a team of 6 based in Larkspur, designing homes throughout the Bay Area. So welcome, Katie Conway Monkhouse.
Thank you.
You have been published in numerous publications, from Architectural Digest to Elle Decor to Vogue Living in California Home and Design. So incredible. But that's just like skimming the surface. There's so many more. And you are also mom of 2 school-age children, Louis, who's almost 13, and Willa, who's almost 9. And your husband is British.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you actually had an interesting story, almost getting stuck in.
Yeah. I mean, we were,
Europe,
I know
right?
you know that story because in 2018, we moved to England briefly. We had like a moment where my son hadn't started school yet. He was just about to start kindergarten, and it was like, I don't know how many political things I can say. It was like the first Trump administration. We were 2 years into it, and we were like, do we really want to raise our kids in America with what was going on? Fast forward, we're doing this all over again. But we, my husband's British. Our kids had never lived there, but we love travel, and we're like, maybe this is our moment. It was like he was going to start school in September, and in August we were like, we're going to leave. So we just packed everything up and we moved.
Were you working, so that was 2018?
Yeah.
So you're doing remote design at that point?
Yeah. So I had been in my business for about a year, like established. Yeah. I was doing it kind of as like a side hustle sort of thing before that. I had tried working for another designer. I had done a couple things, but I had registered a business in October 2017.
Yeah.
And so August 2018, we were like, let's make a run for it. So I was working remote on projects from the UK. I did try to get local projects, but that just wasn't going to happen. We weren't in London. We were like in the north of England. So it was a different thing. And so I was flying back and forth for work. My husband's company was based here, and so he flew back and forth for work. So it wasn't the most sustainable move. But then when the pandemic happened, he happened to be here working. I was there with the kids. They were like, we're shutting down travel between the US and the UK Monday at midnight. It's like Sunday afternoon. I was like, are you coming home? Am I coming there? And we just, what was that? That was like mid-March, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we had planned on being here in April anyway for the kids' school holiday. So we were like, I was like, I'll just get on a plane with the kids. We'll wait it out. We'll come back on our flights in April. And then we never went back. We got stuck. It wasn't until July of that year that he was able to get back to England to pack up our stuff.
So we
just had a flat full of all of our stuff. Our car was outside. Our plants were all dying. My mother-in-law would go like check on things. But yeah, it was like a weird thing. But 2020 was like a massive boom for my industry.
Yeah.
Everybody stuck at home, not spending money on anything else. They were like, we got to renovate this place.
Yeah.
So I just got super busy, super quickly.
Gratuitous. Couple things. One, I think it's really inspiring how you have not shied away from your political leanings, and you make that a part of your voice and your story. I think that, I personally am nervous. Like I identify with what you're saying, but there's part of me where I'm like, no, I can't get too political here because this is a professional page. But like I really appreciate and I'm so refreshed by your openness to share where you are. I think it's like
a values thing, and I think I'm sure there was lots of things that used to happen that I could just move by, but I feel like these days it's so outrageous. And I think I just made a decision that it was like, if it turns people off, they're not my people. And that's okay.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
And we can't be everyone to everything.
No.
Everything to everyone.
Yeah.
So there was a big moment of growth in 2025. And now we're in 2020, and now we're in 2026, and you've grown your team significantly.
Yeah.
When did you hire your first employee?
I think it was late in 2020 that I hired my first person, and I didn't have an office, so like we both worked remotely, and we worked remote. I don't even think I interviewed her in person. I think we only interviewed online, and we worked remotely. And our first time that we met was at a site visit, where I was like, my client's meeting her for the first time, but I'm kind of also meeting her for the first time, which was funny. And then, it was a whole new thing. She was amazing, and I adore her, and we're still in contact. She stayed with me for 2 years before she had her first kid and kind of changed up some stuff. But she was amazing, and it was just like a very different experience to work with someone. And I loved that. And then that prompted me like wanting to get an office, and I shared an office with a friend who was also a cool mom doing a cool thing. And we rented an office space from another cool mom that was doing a cool thing, and the pandemic really kind of screwed her business up. So she had this like co-working space that she couldn't use. And Shane and I were like, could we rent the space from you to help you keep it going, and we'll distance from each other in this space. So I was fortunate enough to be able to get like one of those, it was like not a loan, something with the pandemic.
I wasn't self-employed at that point, so I don't know the
there was like a thing that you could get. I applied for it, I got it, it gets forgiven, but I just was like, so the woman who had started her business, she couldn't get one because her business had only started within the 30 days before everything shut down. And I was like, I'll like literally just give mine to you for the rent for this place for 6 months or whatever. So it was like we were all trying to keep each other afloat. And then the sanity of having another woman in an office with me through that weird period of time where I was like shockingly busy with work. My kids are homeschooling. we didn't like have a permanent location. We were living in a house that was owned by my mom because our house we had rented out when we were in England. It was a whole thing.
And then look where
we ended up.
So I'm curious how your role as a designer has evolved since expanding your business
so
and
much.
bringing in team.
Yeah. It has a lot because, I mean, in the beginning it was just me. So I had to do everything, invoicing, sourcing, specifying the drawings, the mood boards, the site visits. So we now have a team of 6, including me. We have 2 designers, a design assistant, a technical designer who's an architect, and a studio director who kind of is literally my sanity and keeps everything together. So
like your COO, kind of?
Basically, yeah. She's like she's everything. Yeah. So she keeps everything running together. She's my right hand. She's the person that I call when I'm in the car and I have to like brain dump everything to.
Hi, Rachel.
Yes. Everybody needs a Rachel. And then she like distills it all and makes sense of it.
Yeah.
And so she's been with me for over 3 years now. And then one of my designers has also been with me for over 3 years. But as I've so my role is always very client facing. I never want to get to a point where I'm not, like I still lead all of our client meetings and I vet all of our clients and all of the initial, I'm still in the weeds of the design. I'm in the 3D models and I'm building stuff and drawing things and setting like the initial vision, which I think is the most important part when we do our concepts. Really kind of trying to figure out what the client's looking for and then put it through an interesting lens. And then what's fun now is my role. I think of myself as more of an editor. So, which is I dream of just being the creative director of my own company, not anything else.
Yeah.
But it's like we come up with these ideas and we iterate and we ideate, and then the team will go off and like figure out how to do that and kind of like put the detail to it and then come back to me and I'm like, but what if we did this and this? So I used to be scared that if I had designers that I wasn't a designer anymore. And then I was like, but it's my name on the door. How could it be my company if other people are designing? But I realized that like you run out of ideas. Like you get burnt out on your own, you need freshness.
Yes.
There's so much value in multiple perspectives. And I try to, other than having men on my team, I try to have some type of diversity. Everyone's from different places and different backgrounds, and having people with different point of views is the only way to elevate what we do. So when I used to be scared of it, and I think that was more of maybe like an insecurity because I wasn't classically trained. I don't have like a degree in design or anything. So I'm like, if they come in and they're better than me, they're gonna know that I'm not, But it's like, that's not it. And I have so much experience at this point. But like, even though a lot of them have gone to school for this, like,
I feel like to get to where you are right now requires so much introspection.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And creating and building a business is truly like holding up a mirror into your own shortcomings as a human being.
Yes.
In fact, you could be like, oh, I was scared of hiring someone quote unquote better than me.
Yeah.
But
I thought about it all the time.
But you're like, oh wait, actually.
Yeah.
Like the more talent I have in our fold, the better Katie Monkhouse Design will be.
Yeah.
How, do you work with a coach? How did you?
So I had a coach. Actually, that I was just thinking, like, this is what Marcy was for. I had a coach for a good couple years. I hired her thinking I was like, I need a business coach. Things are growing. I temporarily had like a little shop. I was trying to figure out, and I don't think things through. I just do things. I'm like, we'll just throw things at the wall, see what sticks. We'll just go that way. And I was like, maybe I need someone who's a little bit more analytical and like ask the right questions. I thought we were going to talk about like KPIs and stuff and what my revenues were. And she's like, how do you want your business to contribute to your wellness in your life? And I was like, well, I hadn't thought about that. So she was more of like a life coach, and her whole thing was really around like how your life and your business interact, your values. And so we did a lot of talking about core values, and when I would come to her with things that I was processing, she's like, well, what value is this stepping on? Because I'm like, I'm losing my shit over this thing. So it was she basically taught me how to look at things completely differently. So when I feel like very anxious or triggered by something, I'm like, oh, it's because they're questioning my integrity, or because I'm, you had a question about, I'm feeling like an imposter here because I don't have the experience. Like, it was a really good way of, when you feel all those things, like really stopping and being like, oh, what's that? What's under that? So she was amazing, and now I'm Marcy myself, but I do miss having her. Yeah. But I can see it happening, and I'm like, oh, what is this? Like, what's under here?
Getting curious.
Yeah.
Not furious.
Yeah. Mostly furious.
More than curious.
Curious. Yeah. Yeah. So that was majorly helpful, and not at all what I thought I signed up for, and probably exactly what I needed, which is like the universe,
Totally.
Yeah.
Like when you have those feelings, it's usually because there's something that's not in alignment with your, can I ask what your values are?
Oh, I have a lot, but integrity is huge to me.
Yeah.
I'm really big on that, and it's hard in what we do because it's a service industry. Mm-hmm. We are selling things, essentially. We are selling you things, and when you deal with money a lot and people question things, mm-hmm. and I'm like, oh, I would never charge you for something that, not that I have these conversations regularly, but if mm-hmm. someone's like, oh, the hours this month, and I'm like, well, we did all that work. It was so much work. So integrity is really important. Mm-hmm. Autonomy and freedom. Mm-hmm. I have 5 people on a team, and I would say maybe I'm not the best manager because I don't really believe in managing. I'm kind of well, you're a grown up.
Yeah.
You can see this calendar, I can see it, when the deadline is,
yeah.
When we have to get it done, what your workload is. You kind of have to.
How do you keep people coordinated? But
I give them the tools.
Yeah.
Tools that I don't use. Mm-hmm. We have softwares and tools. And I think some people would not thrive in our environment because I'm you can do it any way you want to do it. Mm-hmm. And for someone who's not naturally has their own rhythm with how they like to be, mm-hmm. how they like to work and be organized, I think that could be there's not enough.
More challenging. Not enough structure.
Structure, exactly. Yeah. But I'm also you could tell me that I have to use Asana to do my tasks. Yeah. I will never do it. Yeah. So if that's the only way you want me to organize my tasks, I will continue to be disorganized. Yeah. I have lists. Yeah. I'm a pen and paper girl.
You have a way of doing things.
Right. And so if someone tries to push me in a direction that's not my natural way of doing it, I don't feel like I can be successful in it. Yeah. And then I'm on top of doing my work, I'm trying to teach myself how to do it the way you want me to do it. So I don't impose that stuff on people, but I think for some people it's probably really difficult. Yeah. So they're but tell me how you want me to do it. And I'm how do you want to do it?
I think people, especially who are beginning, they're I want to know that I'm doing it the right way.
Right.
And you're well, there's a gazillion ways.
Right.
And I can show you how I would do it, but that's not the way.
Yeah. There was an interesting, I don't remember, I think it was Brene Brown. I liked this a lot, where she was paint done. Mm-hmm. So it's I don't necessarily want to tell you how to get there, but I need to explain to you what there is.
Yes.
So that you know what I'm expecting at the end of this.
Yes. Get
there however you want.
Yeah.
But when I say I need this done by Friday, this is what done looks like to me.
That's right.
So that you understand that, and then just get there.
Yeah. Amen.
Good old Brene Brown.
Go Brene Brown.
So autonomy and freedom is really important. Uh-huh. Collaboration. I really hate in our industry sometimes when people aren't generous and collaborative. Mm-hmm. We work with architects and builders, and it's we are a team. We have to really work together, mm-hmm. and that's where the magic happens. So why would you not?
Is there a lot of gatekeeping in the world of interior design and amongst interior designers?
Yes, traditionally, but I think maybe in a new generation of designers, we're a little bit more generous with each other. And I think specifically my little design community, mm-hmm. we're so generous.
So great.
But it's the whole rising tide lifts all boats.
I totally agree.
Why? And just because you tell someone where you got something or how you did it, doesn't mean they're going to interpret it the same way or steal it, or it doesn't undermine what you've done.
Yeah, or result in fewer clients for you. If anything, clients beget more clients.
Yeah.
Because everyone's happy and they realize what.
Right. So if everyone's walking around going, you have to have a designer because we've all had the most amazing designer experiences, there's no downside to that.
Totally.
Yeah.
When you hire, do you do so through the lens of your values? Or, yeah.
Yes, and I am like a very woo-woo. I gotta switch legs.
Oh yeah, please, yeah. Stretch.
Yeah, let's do a crisscross switch.
I'm gonna stretch it out.
Yeah.
We can also switch sides if you need like a
Or like a yoga break.
Exactly.
Or something.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we're good. I mean, I really do kind of run on vibes, you know.
Totally.
I try my best to understand what I need from the role and the skills of the person, but I'm kind of like, you could learn most things if you have the capacity to learn and you're excited about it. Can't teach you to be a good person, can't teach you to be honest, can't teach you to work hard. Those things have to come from inside of you already. Like, I can teach you how to use SketchUp.
Yeah.
I can teach you how to write a good email to a client, but like, so it's like a partially, I want you to have the experience, I want you to know how to do things, but like, our little team is like a tiny family. Yeah. And, you know, if one person is like sucking all the air out of the room all the time, like nobody can breathe. Like everybody has to contribute, everybody has to be respectful of each other. There has to be like just I don't know, it's like a mini community.
It is. Yeah, and it's so obvious when something's not working, probably.
Totally. Yeah.
If the vibes are out of alignment, how do you address, if maybe you've been so fortuitous that hasn't even been the case?
No, we've definitely dealt with it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's not often, but it has happened where it's like, I don't know, I'm definitely like prone to people pleasing, so I do try to just like smooth things over a lot until I don't, and then sometimes I'm like too reactionary, where I can approach things in the wrong way, or like too open in front of everyone, or, you know, I'm not always, for sure not perfect, but I always give people the opportunity, probably like for too many and for too long, but I'm like, if you can course correct, if we can have this conversation and we can get there, you know, but I think sometimes there's just, when things are out of alignment.
It's usually, I find that it's usually apparent mutually.
Exactly.
Usually.
Yes. And so the last time that I had this, one of the only times I've had this, you know, when we got to the end of the road, it was kind of like, yes, maybe I'm making the final decision, but like, we can be honest with, like, this is a mutual thing.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want anyone to be unhappy
100%.
at work.
Oh, it takes up too much of our lives.
And it's like, it's work.
Yeah.
You got enough going on in your life
Totally.
that it could be good, bad, the other thing, but like, this is work.
Yeah.
If it's not, if it's not good for you, like, find a place that is, because I don't want to constantly feel like I'm, accommodating, but at the same time, like, I just want someone that's not enjoying themselves.
Totally.
And happy and like excited to contribute, and
of course.
It just doesn't, it's a recipe for disaster.
You juggle a lot. You have a growing team. You have two
We all
kids.
juggle a lot.
Yes, we all do. A growing team, your family life, a growing list of clients. On a really granular level, how do you keep it all organized while still making time for yourself?
I wish I had a good answer for that. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. So I'm somebody that I hold a lot of stuff in my head at all times. And so, like most mothers, I lay my head down on the pillow and run through all the things I didn't do or haven't done, or like, how do I mean, my kids really need dental appointments right now, and I'm like, I've got the dentist on text, and I'm trying to find the thing, and then I'm like, oh, that was like 2 weeks ago, and I still haven't gotten back to her, like, so I'm not.
Yeah.
But I think the bar is like my clients need to be happy. I think that's my bar of success there, whether or not they look, the house is my most favorite thing. My kids need to be happy.
Yeah.
and and I need to be happy. So it's like not all those things happen all the time, but I've always put work through this lens, especially what I do is like, this is a luxury service. Like, we're not saving lives.
Making lives better.
Yeah, I do think that we do.
We do.
I think environment's so important, but if I don't get back to that email because I'm going to run and do school pickup so I can get my kid.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I think about this idea of energetic capacity a lot and how it's a finite resource.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That has to be replenished.
Yeah.
How do you replenish yours? If you do.
No, I do. I mean, I could be like very cliche about it. Any kind of travel.
Yeah.
And as I've gotten older, my kids are like less excited about travel because they just want to hang out with their friends all the time. I would love to find more time somehow in my life to travel by myself, which sounds so selfish.
No, I don't think so. Go, I don't want to interrupt you, but say more.
Yeah. So like this year, like the last 2 years, we've done a designer showcase house. I renovated my own house. Like, things have been chaotic, and this year I don't have any of those big projects. Yeah, the first year that we did the showcase, I also moved offices, renovated an office. So like this year I have no big side projects. So my goal is to do a lot of design travel. So I'm booking to go to Salone in Milan in April. I'd love to get to LA so I'm a really, really independent person. Like, I moved out of my house early. I lived in New York City by myself. I just like always had studio apartments. I just figured it out and did what I wanted. So, when you wake up one day and you're 41 years old and you have 2 kids and a husband and a house and a business, and you're like, wow, there's not
more meshed than I was.
I don't have a lot of space for me.
Yeah.
So I think trying to figure that out, it's hard.
Of course.
It's so hard. But I feel the most, it's like it brings you back to yourself. I got an opportunity to go to Milan for a work thing last May maybe. And, I'm like international flying by myself. I used to do these kind of things all the time. I get to Milan, I'm like, I want to go to Lake Como. I figure out where the trains are. I get on the train. I go up to Como for the day. Like, I'm around the city. I'm sitting and having lunch, laughing at the conversations I'm hearing by myself and walking into showrooms. I'm like, this is like just
filling your cup.
Yes. And just like reminding you that like you are actually like independent of all the things all the roles that you play. You are like a whole human.
Yes.
I
do.
It's really hard though.
It is really hard because at this stage of life, there are a lot of things that are a result of us or that like we're plugged into and that we're responsible for.
Yeah.
And so to remember that like there's like the success of these other things is only as great as like the energy that we bring to those things.
Yeah. I mean, people say, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yes.
And there's all of those things that people say that are like, yeah, but like how do you make it happen?
I don't know if your coach talked to you about this at all when you were utilizing her, but I've heard of this idea of like white space, and I've worked with a coach that takes a personal trip 4 times a year, like it's scheduled in, and like her I bet you derive a lot of creativity from this moment, and so in a lot of ways that's like the most important work that we're doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it is. It's like creating brain space.
That's right.
So it's like, yes, I'm in Italy by myself, and of course I still have to like respond to emails, and my kids are still messaging me and stuff, but like there are these moments of profound quiet when you're just by yourself with the day-to-day agenda, which is like so consuming that you can just dream a little bit.
Yeah. And
like just like, dust things out of your brain and like have room to see things differently. So yes, 4 trips a year sounds like a dream.
Yeah.
Even if they were like 4
it's like a day.
days.
It's like a day or
okay, 1 day.
like 2 days.
2 or 3 weeks, 4 times a year. That's all I'm asking.
Right? Is that too much? But I think it's also this idea that if you're at the helm of whatever it is you're building, you're setting the weather.
Yeah.
You're bringing the weather.
Yeah.
And so if it's stormy or anxiety ridden, then, that's
For
the weather
sure.
of the day or
Yeah.
the week. And so if if you can kind of reset, spend time away and like bring that, like that new energy that it helps.
Yeah.
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 And so it's like almost, it's selfish, but it's also selfless.
Right. No, I totally, and I would tell any girlfriend to do it. I mean, I'm so,
Yes.
I know fundamentally that it is better for everyone if you do these things. And I think the reason why I like the idea of doing like a full travel is because if I schedule it in the day to day, like I'm going to go to yoga or I'm going to like go antiquing for there's a good chance that's getting crossed off the list. It just is.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm at a point where I need to like book a fucking plane ticket to ensure that I'm going to do it. Because I RSVP to all kinds of cool events and all these things. And I'm like, oh, no. Like, Louis has basketball. I'm going to go home so that I don't have to like, then put that on my husband that he has to go do everything. So it's like finding I don't know. It's like just get on.
You're going to Italy in the spring. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I just made that decision.
You did? You're going to go buy your ticket?
I booked an Airbnb.
Great.
I did book my tickets this morning and I need to just book it. But I'm coming. I'm going to go.
What I would love to know, what is like one thing that you could take off your plate like today that would open up space for the next level of growth for Katie Monkhouse?
One thing. I don't know if it would be the next level of growth, but it would be like maybe the next level of sanity. It would be like all personal admin.
Oh yeah.
I hate personal admin.
Oh my God.
I will
100%.
admit.
I'm gonna clock. Yeah.
I want you to know I'm driving around with an expired license because I just
doing it too.
Wait, cannot get to a
Well, at least
DMV
you
to
have a
deal with
license
it.
and I lost mine, so.
Okay, see?
Oh my God.
Like doctor's appointments, and I was like, I needed to get blood work done like 6 months ago, and I still haven't gone to do it. I finally at like midnight the other night was like, I'm just gonna book the mammogram. I need to do it. I'm like months behind. And they were like, they had one for the next day at 11:15, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna tell work I'm gonna be late to the meeting. I'm gonna do it. And I booked it, and I was like, yes, it's like so satisfying. It's gonna be off the list tomorrow. And I got a call from the doctor first thing in the morning. They're like, I don't know why that was on there. That's not an available appointment.
No.
So. And they're like, call us back to rebook.
Like,
Have I done it? No.
So I had like a whole, I scheduled an admin, this doesn't happen all the time, but I scheduled an admin day for a Friday.
Yeah.
Because my car registration had expired. So I go to the DMV and they're like, well, I need to see your, what is it called? The not the registration, but the deed
Oh,
of
yeah.
the car. What's it called? The deed of the
Yeah,
car.
yeah, something like
And they're
that.
like, well, we need to make sure that this is actually yours. And I was like, I don't have it with me, but I only live a couple blocks away. Can I go run home and get it and just like save everything's a line? And they're like, no. You can go get it, but I can't save your place in line. So make sure you bring that.
Well, I went through the amazing process of going to the DMV back in like November because I was like, I need to renew it. And I've never felt like more of a grown up that I booked it before my license expired. And I'm like, not only that, I don't have a real ID yet, so I'm going to do that. And I went and I did all the paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
I lied and said I had an appointment. I didn't. She was like, I don't see it in the system. She's like, but just go.
Yes, so smart.
I was like, and I thought I did book an appointment, and then I realized that I never got the confirmation. I'm like, I probably just got distracted and never finished. And then I got it in the mail, and they converted it to a real ID, but with the same expiration date, so it was expiring like the next week. What? And I called, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. And they were like, I know, but that's what you did a conversion, not a renewal. And I'm like, I was like, well, now that I've done it, can I just renew it online? And they're like, no, you have to go back and take a picture. I'm like, no, I literally just took a picture. I took a picture.
You're
She's
like,
no,
I'm
you
kidding.
have to.
Is this boiling point?
And she was like, well, you paid the $35 fee instead of the $46. And I'm like, I will give you the $10. I will give you $10,000 if you just tell me I never have to go back to the DMV.
I know.
So now I'm going in March, and I'm just going to hope I don't get pulled over before then.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. But life admin, please. Someone.
A personal home manager?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe explore that.
I know, but like,
Who has that?
very wealthy.
Very wealthy people. I don't have one. if I didn't have someone helping out with the kids, like I feel like in a couple years,
Yeah.
then, like how are you doing all of the kids pickups and drop-offs?
So I've hit this like magical point of, how old are your kids now?
My kids I have one who turns 8 tomorrow and a 10-year-old.
Oh, 8 and 10. Okay,
Yeah.
You're getting to that phase too. So Will is 9. We live a little less than a mile from school. Mm-hmm. She can bike to and from school for the most part. We don't do it that much yet, but we're getting there. But she goes to aftercare. Yeah. Like she doesn't do activities. She's literally the most underscheduled child in all of Marin County.
Such a blessing.
She goes to aftercare every day until 5:30, which is like, you asked about a mom hack. Like, I don't have a mom hack, but at one point, I think like maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I just said, I don't go into the office on Fridays. I don't have meetings on Fridays. And Fridays I will pick up my daughter so she doesn't have to go to aftercare 1 day a week.
Great.
And then my son, like we moved next to a friend. We do, but like he'll be 13 in 2 weeks. Like he comes home by himself. Like nobody needs to be there. And now he can watch my daughter. Like they can stay home together.
That's great.
Like we don't do it all the time, but like it's not a big deal. He's 13 years old. He can hang out, and she's 9, and our neighbors are his best friend. Their mom's always home. Like not always home, she works, but like there's just enough people. We live in a very small neighborhood tucked away. So we've gotten over that kind of hump of needing constant childcare, and because my kids are so underscheduled, it's not like I need someone to drive them to dance and things and that.
That makes sense.
So that was just like a decision that we kind of, I don't know if we like consciously made, but it was like, I just don't have the capacity to put you in 10 sport. And like, they don't want it.
They don't want that.
Spoiler alert, I don't think your kids all want to do that either.
No, I know that. I think I'm in the camp of underscheduling versus now, do I actually implement that in practice? I don't know. But I don't have to get into that.
Yeah,
I think less is more when it comes to scheduling like, kids' activities.
My son does basketball, and he just joined mountain biking team, and neither of these are majorly time consuming. Yeah. And because he's old enough, like he can ride his bike down to basketball practice. Yeah, so it works. I just got my daughter into gymnastics on a Saturday morning. I was like, okay, I can do a Saturday morning, but like a weekday activity I just can't do. But so they're aftercare kids.
I mean, we were talking about having white space, and I truly believe that boredom is the precipice of creativity.
Right.
And so I bet they're like enormously creative.
And I'm sure my daughter could come home after school, but like I don't want her on an iPad, so she goes to aftercare, and they keep them busy. They run around, and
it's great.
It's
great.
Is
there anything that I haven't asked you that you feel is really defining of who you are and what you've accomplished over the last several years? I mean, you're one of the notable. Wait, I don't want to misrepresent this. You are named one of Lux Magazine's Next in Design, and I mean your work just speaks for itself. It's so beautiful.
I don't know. I mean, you asked some questions on there that I thought about, and like imposter syndrome, and people that are unsure, and I mean, as someone who, I didn't go to school for design, the reason why I started business is because I was not employable as a designer, realistically. And I had run other people's businesses in my previous careers, and the business part of it didn't scare me. But like showing up and saying the words like, I'm an interior designer, when I have zero schooling and very little experience, was like a terrifying thing to do. Like I didn't want anyone I know to know. I was like, I don't want people to know that I'm starting this business, because they'll like, they're going to be like, fraud. So I mean, I think that stuff, I don't know if it's a uniquely female thing, but I think it's more of a female thing that we feel that, because I think that there's a lot of men out there that will, just not care what the title is. Yes. They'll just, or what the back, or become whatever it is with very little. So I don't know. I guess that I don't really have advice for that, but I think it's important to know that that's not abnormal, and that like you can push all the way through to the other side of that. Yeah. Like you just, it's gonna be there. And I mean, I think a lot of women that start businesses are starting their own business as a version of something that they've already done. So they probably have more experience with it. I think mine was a little bit unique in that way, but
the confidence comes from doing the thing.
Yes.
You're never going to feel ready.
Yeah.
And you will only feel ready once you've already you've done it.
Yeah, I mean, there's no good time or feeling ready about like almost anything in the world. If you feel ready, you probably waited too long.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
You're probably over-prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably overanalyzed it, and now it's going to be, I don't know. I'm definitely like a jump and build a parachute on the way down kind of person.
Yes, we always say we're building the plane as we fly.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Because I personally can't learn from like sitting. I was never a phenomenal student. Like I can't sit in a classroom and retain information. I'm like, I need to like get in there and do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, now I walk around job sites and I understand like the most complex parts of framing houses and where the rough-ins are supposed to be and material transitions and all of these things that I was so nervous about before that it's just like I don't think there's any way to learn things until you do it. So sometimes just like don't just do it.
Just go for it.
Yeah.
I know it's also weird how like school is structured. How if you're not getting a certain grade on a test, we're made to think that we're not going to be successful in life.
And I think that the schooling thing has gotten so much worse. Like there's no like we used to have like metal shop and wood shop and home ec and whatever. So there were like things that you could do with your hands that if you were not like a traditional learner and that test scores have become like your benchmark for success. But there's people that are brilliant that don't test well. There's people that are brilliant because they see things in 3D, that understand mechanics and, engineering and that kind of stuff, but it's not a textbook. Yeah. I think that that's a bigger topic of failure of our education.
I totally agree. Well, I think we're, especially women in this area, are flipping the script to show what can be accomplished if we're more creative and flexible in how we structure work and our families. And there's more to success than just the number signs, or not just the dollar signs.
Totally.
But also
like it's okay for your business's goal is to make money. Yeah. That's another thing that I feel like people made me like you get weird like you shouldn't
talk about it.
Or like
it's embarrassing, or you're bad or tacky for having the conversation
or being successful. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, it took me a long time in my business to be like, oh no, like we have to turn like profitability is a big part of what we do. Mm-hmm. Like yes, it's a very intimate relationship we have with our clients. We're in their homes, like we're creating their environments, these backdrops to their lives. It's so beautiful and it's like a wonderful journey. But like it's not a charity.
Yeah, and you're employing a team.
Yes, and I want women that work for me that can support themselves. Like we have 401ks and we have health insurance and we have tons of paid vacation and I just want to make sure that they feel like they don't have to depend on anyone else. I would love for everyone that works for me. I mean, a lot of them have partners, and of course, like that's helpful. I'm a small business still. Also, luxury businesses are still small businesses. I think when people like push back on things, you're like, wait, like I'm a small women-run business, and like our prices are our prices, and our markups are our markups, and this is how we keep the lights on, and this is how we make sure that we can also live in Marin County.
They're not haggling.
Yeah,
like this is the price.
Yeah.
Also, and I'd love for it to work for you, but if it doesn't,
totally, that's okay.
That's
yeah, and I think that takes a long time to get comfortable with. So if you're starting out, maybe just get comfortable with it faster for the rest of us.
I think so too. I think also, I wish women had like we as women had some more coaching around being comfortable with money.
Totally,
because we should be. Yeah. We don't have to be embarrassed or ashamed or self-perceived as greedy for wanting to be financially successful.
Totally. And like, financially successful and stable and like contributing,
in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
I agree.